Hi, I'm gonna have a little update video about the It Is Finished conference with John Crowder in Budapest. Um, I have a lot of testimonies about it. I keep receiving them. But if you still have some testimony or feedback about the conference, you can email it to me. All the contact details will be in the description below, and I would like to share it in the event or with other people so that they can be encouraged by it. So many people experienced freedom and this liberation from all these unnecessary burdens, and especially like those bad thoughts and lies about the image of God, and this sense of separation from God is something that so many people said they had like disappear um, at the conference. So I'm really grateful for hearing those stories. And I'd love to hear more. So please send it to me if you've been to that conference or saw the videos of this conference. Actually, the videos of this conference is posted on my YouTube channel. I'm not sure that the quality of the sound in English is very well done, because we focused on the Hungarian interpretation to be good on the record, but I think it is still understandable. All these videos are available on my channel, and the Sunday morning service is available on the channel of the church, which is BPA Church. And if you type in BPA Church John Crowder, you can watch that video as well. Only video missing is the last session. It's still on someone's memory card. So, but as soon as I will have it, I will post it on my channel. I am really happy that this conference happened at all. Like, it was very challenging, to be honest. I'm not someone who organizes events for fun, and it is not my personality to lead people or anything like that. And there was like no church or organization behind it, so there were just a couple of random friends who decided to invite John, and then we found out that we actually have like zero resources to do it. So it was a wild ride, and many times like people found out they can't agree with John's teachings on the way, and we had to like redo many of the organizing processes because people just said no after a while. So yeah, I really learned to trust God in that process for sure. Even in the last weeks, everything became impossible like every other day. Like, I came to the point that we cannot have this conference like every other day. So yeah, it was a wild ride. What was really awesome that in the last 2 days and during the conference, everything was smooth and quite easy. So nothing went bankrupt. No one refused to cooperate with us. Nothing like terrible happened, and I was so happy for it. And it was also not that easy that those people who ministered together, they didn't even know each other, they have never worked together, so nothing really happened by itself. So it was not an oiled machine. I had to say everything. I have to like intervene all the time, which is not something I would ever do. So yeah, I had enough grace to do that. Sometimes I didn't pay that much attention to what the spirit is doing in the room, or how the people connect with God. I really love to be sensitive to what's going on in the room, and now I couldn't. Like, I was so busy in my mind, like with all the schedules and dates and the sleeping hours of the people and everything, is that I don't know that I don't say that I never paid any attention to what the spirit was doing, but not that often. And now I'm more compassionate with all the organizers, uh, because it's hard to have a part of you left just to perceive what God is doing. So yeah, I got lost. It's not a good thing, but I got lost, like just keeping everything flowing. My greatest testimony is that quite a few leaders and churches and church pastors showed up actually, and some of them could like get in touch with John and talk with John or have a lunch with John, and one of the churches invited him. So it was great that people were opening up to that message, not just like crazy charismatic folks who are already burned out of everything that is around Christianity, but people who are like leading churches and who have been ministering for decades and who have like a large following in the Hungarian church realm. So it was quite a great testimony for me. The other testimony is that we got money for everything. Because like, as I said, it was a zero resource kind of thing. And we could cover all the costs, and we could even send a little donation to John, which I really wanted to do. It was like, oh, I was like so sorry for like not being able to provide everything and cover all of his costs and things like that. So yeah, I was so happy that we could give something to him at the end. I'm gonna tell you something very personal. When I was at elementary school, I was bullied like very hard. Like, I was abused a lot at school, and I was quite depressed and suicidal, and I kept listening to that song, like Lord, your goodness and your mercy following me all the days of my life, which is an old Hillsong song, and I had it on my headphones, and I imagined that the angels are like protecting me and that I'm not alone and it's gonna be just fine. But life was terrible in that season of my life, so it was really tough. And this is one of the songs that like kept me alive. And as I was sitting in the front row on Sunday to go up on stage to translate for John, which I really love doing, even if I was like totally exhausted, like this is the task I didn't want to drop because I love doing it. So as I was waiting to walk up, and I knew how important that was, like I knew how many people will see it, not just at the church, but so many people will listen to that preaching afterwards, because it's a quite an influential church and so many people are watching its live streams. So I was like, this is quite an important thing. And as I was sitting there, the worship band, for some reason, started to play that song. It's an old song. It's not a Waymaker that everyone just feels like they have to play it once at every session. This is a quite a retro thing, like an old song. And for some reason they played it, and it just hit me so hard. Like, yes, the Lord's goodness is really following me. Like, it was there when I was like almost at the end of my life, and absolutely crushed and devastated. And here is that song when I have like probably one of the most important moments of my like ministry life. And yeah, it was a moment, like, yeah. And this is this goodness that is present here, the same goodness. I'm just more aware of it. I am just more able to enjoy it. And this goodness was not just present, and is not just present. It was also like massive enough to take me from there to here. Like, from the moment when I was just surviving by that song to the point when I can cooperate with God what He's doing in Hungary. It's not just like I'm not really much a ministry girl. I'm more like a nun. But every now and then I feel like doing something that is visible to people. And this was one of the moments when I felt like this is something I should do, and I should make myself visible. And I was like, yes, this is something that is God's joke. Like, someone who is shy and too anxious to greet people is now leading an event. It's such a joke from God. I was like laughing inside. Like, it cannot happen. I would never believe it if someone had told me. Back on those days when I was listening to that song in my headphones. So it was a full circle moment. I was just so grateful. Like, oh yes, this goodness of God is that effective. It's just like, it also sometimes it just is. It is with you, whatever is happening to you, but it also powerful to change whatever you are in. So yeah, it was a great moment. And as I was like walking off the stage, I felt like, now I'm really drunk. I couldn't like take this conference as a soaking session as an organizer. I have been to many of John's events when I was just like laying on the floor receiving, but as an organizer at this event, I was not in the receiving mode. And it was so precious that at this moment I forgot everything, all the schedules, and I was just like receiving in my seats and laughing and getting drunk on the goodness of God. It was such a full circle moment. And then I had to do another event, and I had other programs left and scheduled lunch and all that. So I couldn't enjoy it too long, but it was still amazing. So that was my very personal testimony. So yeah, I've really enjoyed like seeing people like having this conference thing, you know, where you enjoy the worship, hang out with people, have theological debates at lunch, you hang out, you don't sleep much, uh, you lay on the floor soaking while the worship team is doing the sound check and all of that. And I couldn't do it, I didn't have time for that, but I was so happy for others being able to do that. um, yeah, this is also one of my testimonies of this event. Um, if you speak Hungarian, John's Mystical Union is available in Hungarian. Um, I don't know why would you watch it in English if you speak Hungarian, but never mind. And also my book, that is a conversation with Jesus at the time of my life when I was like really struggling with all these issues that I'm far away from God and I'm not close, and I was full of condemnation. And in these visions and spiritual encounters, Jesus just started to break down these lies. And there are some poems and paintings in it based on these encounters. So if you speak Hungarian, you can order it, and all the details are in the description below. And also my little sister wrote me a book, which is a fiction story about a family where the girl starts to see the spiritual realm, and it's a funny story, with some out of body experiences, and it shows the happenings of the physical realm parallel with the happenings of the spiritual realm. So it's a fun little story that my little sister wrote when she was 15. They are all available only in Hungarian at this point. So it's a joke that I was talking about it in English. Maybe I will translate one of it into English at some point of my life when I will be a time billionaire. Okay. Thank you for coming to this conference, and thank you for every kind of support that you have given. And if you have any testimonies, I would love to read it and share it with others. May the goodness and grace of our Lord Jesus continue to follow you. Amen.